Welcome back to JGI JCE Connect revision classes on modern interface design. We were discussing module 2 user interface design process, wherein in the previous video we have already covered topics such as structures, functions, content and formatting of menus. In this video we shall be discussing about the graphical menus. So, as we have already seen that menus are used to communicate to the user the information about the nature and purpose of itself, as well as it is meant for presenting a set of choices to the user, and it also guides in proper choice or choices that can be selected by the user. So therefore, we are supposed to create meaningful choice descriptions that are familiar to the user. So these descriptions may either be single words, compound words, or multiple words or phrases. So we can also make use of sentences and headline styles to represent the menu descriptions, right? So then a menu choice must never have same wordings as its menu title. And we have also seen that identical choices on different menus should be worded identically, right? So word choices act as commands to computers. So now there also exists a set of graphical menus such as menu bars, pull down menus, cascading menus, pop up menus, iconic menus, pie menus, followed by tier of menus. So we have been working with all such types of menus in various different interfaces, such as our Windows operating systems interface, or it be the phone, or it be our smartphones interface. In our day-to-day life, we find the usage of all these types of graphical menus. So now let us quickly revise what do these menus stand for, right? So the very first one here is the menu bar. So it is used to identify and provide access to common and frequently used application actions that take place in a wide variety of different windows, right? A menu bar choice by itself should not initiate an action. Okay, so the highest level graphical system menu is commonly known as a menu bar. So a menu bar consists of a collection of descriptions that serve as headings or titles for a series of actions on an associated pull down menu, right? So a menu is typically arrayed in horizontal row at the top of the window, and sometimes it's also referred to as menu titles, right? So there are so you can, in this particular slide, you can see the menu bars there. So menu bars can be of two types. They can either be composed of text, or they can also be composed of various command buttons, right? So these do not display choices that are never available to the user, right? So menu bars, yeah, it separates the bar from the remainder of the screen by different backgrounds, and menu bars basically require the moving pointer from main working area to select the particular choices, and these menu bars consume a full row of screen space, right? And it is usually not hidden the screen working area. Okay, so then the next type of graphical menu is the pull down menu. So these are the first level menus which are used to provide access to commonly and most frequently used application actions. right? That can take place on a wide variety of different windows. So these are small number of items, so no window space is consumed when they are not used. So these menus are easy to browse, and then the items are smaller than full sized buttons, and it displays all possible alternatives here. So each consists of at least two choices, and the title is not necessary for a pull down menu. And if a pull down choice leads to another pull down, then it provides a cascade indicator to denote it. So cascade indicator could either be a greater than, uh, we usually find it's either a greater than symbol or double greater than symbols. So we call such menus as pull down menus. So followed by it is the cascading menu. So cascading menu is a sub menu which is derived from the higher level menu. So most typically a pull down menu here. It do not exceed 3 menu levels. That is, it almost has 2 cascades, right? So this is called as cascading menu. So you can refer the diagram, and you can see that investment reports has a drop down menu which is transaction report, which again has a set of menus cascaded within it. So followed by it is pop-up menus. So the choices may be presented to user on the screen even by making use of pop-up menus. So these menus appear in the working area, and they do not use the window space when not displayed, and no pointer movement is needed if they are selected by a button. So they require a special action to see the menu. Their display location may not be consistent, and therefore they are known as pop-up menus. We have another different type of menus called as tier of menus. So tier of is a pull down menu that can be positioned anywhere on the screen. So it possesses all the characteristics of pull down menus, but it requires an extra steps to retrieve, and it hides the screen's working area. Therefore it is known as a tier of menu. Followed by it is iconic menus. So it is a picture of menu items or objects in graphical forms. So whatever, okay. So the purpose of an iconic menu is to remind the users of functions, commands, attributes, or application choices that are available. And icons must always have meaning, and they must always be clear. So we can also find these iconic menus as a part of a smartphone interface. So then we also have pie menus. So this pie menu is a circular representation of menu items, and it can be used as an alternative for pull down menu or pop-up menus. It is called as a, so what you can see on the screen right now is also known as a pie menu. So it has sections to this sections to it, wherein each section represents a task that has to be performed. So some important questions that we can expect from module 1 and module 2 could be, if you want you can make a note of all these questions. First one, explain briefly about the characteristics of GUI, and we may get a question to mention the advantages and disadvantages of GUI, and we may also expect a question such as write a detailed note on the characteristics of web user interface, or it can also be asked for a difference between GUI and web page design, or printed pages versus web pages. And the next very important question could be explain the general principles of user interface design, and you can also expect a question on the different listing and explaining different characteristics of intranet and internet along with its differences, and explain in detail about web navigation. And the next very important question that we can expect is explain the importance of human considerations in user interface design with suitable example. And then what is requirements analysis and what methods are involved in it, and what is the impact of it on UI design. Or it can either be asked as different methods of collecting requirements, and you may also get a question like explain the structure of the menus, explain how the menus can be phrased, and to explain the functions of the menus, followed by explain briefly about formatting of the menus. And they may even ask us to explain the different types of statistical graphics and explain the contents of a statistical graphics. And they may also ask you to write a brief note on the navigation menus. And lastly, they could also ask you to explain the kinds of graphical menus. So these are very important questions with respect to module 1 and module 2. They are just the important questions.